Welcome back to another edition of Wednesday's Warm Weather, and it is a day that for the first time in several hit 100 degrees along the 99. Actually, we saw even higher than that, but currently it's 100 degrees after 6 o'clock with northwest at 13. The big thing with that is that if this indeed begins the next stretch of warmer days to come, we make it 100 tomorrow and the day after will be heat wave number 3. Will that happen? We don't know until it actually occurs. We'll have to watch it play by play, day by day. We can tell you this, though. Right now, it's hotter in the desert, 106. Edwards just checking in shy of 100 by 1 degree at 99. Van Nuys, 91. It's comfortable in Santa Barbara and Camarillo, 73. That's the place to be, huh? LA, 1 degree more at 74. And Vegas checks in 108. But that is expected for this time of year. Compared to yesterday, a little bit of an upgrade temperature-wise up and down the valley. However, very little change at Edwards, basically not at all right now. 1 degree higher in Ridgecrest, that's about it compared to this time on Tuesday. Satellite shows us clear skies overhead, a bit of marine layer offshore. The high over New Mexico moving westward the next couple days. And that will set the stage for a heat up that will continue the trend of temperatures going on up. To the south, we're going to check in on the very latest of Hurricane Genevieve. She is still there, still strong, but weaker than before. Winds sustained at 100 miles an hour west-northwest. That is the trajectory. Hasn't changed much for a while now, but this is bringing surf to Baja, and ultimately it will send waves into the beaches of Southern California out of the south and southwest. That is why we've got this map going. Southerly swells basically from a south-southeasterly direction to south-southwest, especially kicking in later today, tomorrow being Thursday, and Friday petering out over the weekend. You can see by this, the colors start to get deeper blue, which means the waves getting smaller and smaller, but still some remnant activity coming on in. The rip current risk is high, so if you're thinking of hitting the water, play it safe because these things can be very dangerous, especially with the water temperatures being as warm as they are, warmer than average, the heat being there inland, and the summer vacation being on. So that will probably lead to some crowded situations, and lifeguards will have, hopefully, their hands full just telling people to play it safe and not having to do too many rescues. Now, let's take a look at the next several days. More or less of the same with the sunny and dry conditions continuing. The good news is the nights became cooler because the air is dry, but the next heat up is underway. Already we feel it today. More likely that more hundreds will start to be met across our area over the next several, especially by Friday, and definitely looks to be the case by the weekend, as we will most likely be in heat wave number 3 territory. We need those 3 days to line up with 100-degree weather, and that may happen as this high starts to slowly move towards our direction. Thursday, more or less still staying within the New Mexico state lines, but Friday and Saturday, it builds in over Arizona and pushes into Southern California too and expands. As that occurs, the air starts to sink, the air gets hotter, and the temperatures start to rise even more. That will be the case into Sunday. And early to mid next week, more or less the same. The high kind of wobbles around, sometimes offshore, sometimes back on. The question is, when will it actually get to this position to allow this monsoonal moisture to start moving back to the west and northwest? That is basically the wild card. So far, July has proven to be dry for our area, with the exception of a few sprinkles we had. Remember that? Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. The valley will be hot. The mountains will be warm. The KRV will get back to 100 degrees, it seems, sometime in the next several days, and that will be the case right into next week. And the desert, still, you can expect it to be sizzling for you, but the good news is the latest trends continue to suggest the numbers may not be as extreme as they were thinking it would be earlier on this week into next week. Now it looks like it'll be still very, very hot, but maybe only 111, maybe not quite to 114 or 116. But hey, we'll just watch it and hopefully let you guys know about the latest. Sports comes up after the break.